I wonder where a guy, an everyday Joe like myself, can find a little action.
Do I make you horny?
Me love you long time. Me so horny.
What is your major malfunction, numbnut?
Give me some sugar, baby.
Hello, I'm Gianmarco Cerezi. I'm a formerly touring stand-up comedian, now Zoom comedian, and you are listening to the Metal Hand of God podcast.
If you don't make it out alive, we'll give you your money back. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast. I am your host, Wayne, and today's co-host is the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, the guy, the dude, the, I don't fucking know, that guy.
Shit, what's my name again? Vernon. Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
what's up,
Vernon's
ladies?
fucking weirdo. God damn. But we have an incredible guest. Dude, about time he returns. It's been
the grave.
It's been fucking forever. Mr. Kurt Amacker, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, good
What's
evening to the gentlemen of the Metal Hand of God.
Yes.
Yeah, dun dun dun. Yeah, it's been a while. I think the last time we talked was when I was working on the Cradle of Filth graphic novel. That was all the way back in 2013, I think.
Yeah.
God, that's so long ago.
Dude, you think about it. Look how long that was, dude. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, I'm like, dude, it's like, it's almost 10 years.
My mind always jumps back to that was just a couple of years ago. And then I remember that it was like about 3.5 couple of years ago. It was actually 4 couple of years ago at this point.
I mean, dude, like,
but that was an incredible experience. It was life changing.
Yeah.
I worked for myself full time for a couple of years, and I realized it was awful. And then I got a job selling mausoleum crypts out in Cajun country in Youngsville and Lafayette and stuff. So no joke. So yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
Yeah, now my life and my whole extended family are Tennessee Williams novel. Tennessee Williams play. It's just insanity.
Well, guys, if you don't know who Mr. Kurt Amacker is, he is a writer. He's just a fucking all-around cool dude. Dude, honestly, Kurt, I think the last time I saw you was when we were in that movie.
Which movie?
Oh God,
Jay and Silent Bob?
No, the
Supercon.
Supercon, yeah, man. I think that was the last time I actually saw you, like out somewhere. It's been that fucking long, dude. It's crazy.
I've been kind of hiding the past few years. Honestly, like when I was DJing, putting on shows and on stage all the time, I got honestly a little burned out on it. I got a little tired of just being kind of on and up all the time, and I kind of wanted to get some of my like quiet time and personal time back to just like read and hang out with the bride and kind of do my own thing, which is incredible because everybody wants to be popular, everybody wants to be on stage, everybody wants to be a celebrity. When you get there, you realize that it's just all hustle all the time, and it's exhausting.
Right, it's a pain in the ass.
I was kind of like, I want to do what I'm doing now. I want to talk with you guys. I want to be able to sit in my chair and read a book and hang out with the cats and just do normal stuff. So I'm still writing and still creating and everything, but I decided to just kind of turn the volume down on everything because it was taking a lot out of me, and I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night and then just party to party to party to party, which sounds fun if you're like maybe 15 years old and don't know what the real world is like. But after a while, you just start getting kind of antisocial and getting kind of turned off on being around people all the time. But I was actually in the Jay and Silent Bob movie, although I didn't actually make the final cut. I am in the deleted.
That's
with,
actually
Derek Vernon and the hologram of Chris Hemsworth,
Yep.
Thor himself.
No shit. No
you can
shit.
see us blurrily behind
behind him. And so yeah, look
Wow.
for it.
I didn't fucking see you. I don't remember seeing you at the set, dude. That's crazy.
I was there. I was in the back corner, and if you watch that scene, you can see a man wearing sunglasses indoors talking to one guy in shorts, and I think Vernon was wearing khakis and an untucked T-shirt, if I remember correctly.
No,
So-
actually, for this, I
He was fancy.
I dressed nicely.
He was fancy.
Like in,
he had a tie and all kinds
black
of shit.
black dress pants, black short sleeve button down shirt, white belt, and white tie. Kind of a
Oh wait, that's right. Yeah,
80s
all right.
throwback.
Yeah, I think I am confusing it with the SuperCon shoot because I think we were all dressed a little more casually for that.
Oh yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah, SuperCon. We
yeah.
looked like we're I was wearing the same exact thing I wore in
Bunch of
Jay and
bums.
Silent Bob for SuperCon because we just wore our fucking podcast T-shirts. So
Yeah,
I have so that's a funny Easter egg. If you watch both movies, we're in both, but we wearing the same exact fucking clothes.
Yeah, it
See,
was actually the same con filmed twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
pretty much, except the Jay and Silent Bob one had a little more money behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I didn't have a little bitty, a little banner. I had a gigantic 8-foot fucking billboard of one of our drawings behind our head.
Oh,
you know?
nice.
It was crazy.
I had
Unfortunately, I
my full
didn't get it.
booth both times, but it didn't end up on camera. Although in SuperCon they have a scene where somebody's being chased and a bunch of characters look up and they're all reading different books of mine, like my vampire novel, the Tad Caldwell
Nice.
novel, a couple of things.
Oh, cool.
They all look up for a second while there's just I don't know, like a naked guy being chased or something ridiculous, and then they all just look down and keep reading, which is good to know that my work is so compelling that whatever was going on was not nearly as interesting as the books they were holding.
That was fucking great. I'll tell you what, man, those were some fun shits. Those shoots were fun because, like,
Yeah.
especially SuperCon, because we got to fucking basically do whatever we wanted. It was ridiculous. Like, all of us. I mean, we really didn't. We were like the fucking, what is it? They gave the keys to the asylum to the fucking inmates, basically.
Oh, yeah.
The inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's basically what it was. Because, like, we were.
Craft services.
Yeah, right? We fucking raped
Yeah.
that
Walking
shit.
over.
Yeah.
Eating with the
Ted-
crew.
Ted
Cast.
Wally trying to lead a revolution to get all of us to just eat at the cruise craft services at the main
Yes.
table.
Yes. I'll tell you what, dude. We did it for like 3 days. We ate,
Yeah.
and then one of the guys got shitty with us, and like was saying something, and I got him fired.
Oh, did you?
I did. I got him fired because of what he told this woman that was in front of me. Like she didn't know. She had no idea she was supposed to be in that line, you know? And he was like, "You fucking idiots, you know, blah, blah, blah." And I looked at him and I said, "Dude, you ain't got to fucking talk to people like that. You better watch your
Right.
mouth, bruh." And I walked off and I went and told the director. And five minutes later, he was jobless.
Well, Zach is
Zach did not take any fucking shit from those people, man.
he is in my experience with him online and in person. He's a good guy.
He is. He's a
and
really nice dude.
really relaxed, and he did that amazing John Milius documentary.
Yes.
You know, the original Conan and the Barbarian is still one of my favorite movies, and so the fact that he took the time to make that to just kind of tell people what happened to John Milius and how he got kind of drummed out of Hollywood,
Yeah.
or at least that was the angle they were taking, I thought was incredible. I will say though that, you know, I've been on a lot of movie sets. I was on the set for Dead of Night, and then the two we've already talked about. There's been a couple of others where I either dropped by or I was asked to be there, and then kind of it went nowhere. We did a kind of like a goth vampire documentary for one of those travel shows that
That's cool.
may have gotten used, but I never saw it. And I can tell you that sets are always tense, and people in Hollywood are always kind of on edge. And I think the reason is just because of the union rules that everybody on there is, you know, guaranteed a certain amount of money, and if they go over time, it flips to time and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have a problem child on set, or somebody doesn't want to come out of a trailer, or any of those things, you are pretty much just burning a garbage can full of dollar bills at that point. So Yeah, it's so I definitely saw that, and a lot of times when I was writing for Mania.com and Cinescape a few years ago, and I interviewed a bunch of different talent. Some people are they're people just like anybody else. I know celebrities are people too.
No, they're not.
Like they need that level of like they need that level of compassion. But the you find some people are easier going than others.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of times you just find that they're very high strung because they're exhausted, they're overworked. It's the 5th interview they've done that day. I interviewed Bruce Campbell several years ago, and nice guy. Like, he didn't say anything mean or anything, but he was just, you could tell, like, he was just,
let's get this over with.
I wouldn't even say that. He went over the time we were supposed to do, but he was not. He was that ash, and he was not like the guy from Burn Notice or anything. He was just, you could tell he had done several interviews that day, and he was like, all right, this is a thing I got to get through. And I saw him at Comic-Con a few days ago, or a few days later, rather, and said, hi, hey, it's me, totally cool, answered a couple of emails here and there, but just, it is being in film, being in movies is exhausting, which is one of the reasons why, if anybody ever wants to be a movie star, I'm like, you better really want it. You better want it more than anything, because it is not a fun job when you get down to it.
No, and like I said, we had a good time because we didn't have anything really to report to when we were doing those films. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we just did what we
normally do at conventions.
Year anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we did what we do, and that's it. And we just hung out.
The only difference was that we weren't selling stuff, which is kind of like some of the shows anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I agree, man. I completely agree. It was just like we were just kind of all hanging out. I mean, we're all next to each other. We're all in the same areas, and it was just kind of like us doing us.
Yeah.
And with the that's what the SuperCon with, I find with the Jay and Silent Bob movie, we were all a little spread apart a little more.
Right.
It was me, Lottie, who else? Some other guy I've never met before, and shit, who else was in that damn square? We had a square of us, and Monty was the other one on the other side.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, the 3 of us were fucking off the whole time because that's what we do. And then while they were fucking filming this movie, they had to pull the big when they were filming the part in the movie where Jay and oh god, what's her name's Smith's daughter are interacting, and they're doing that scene right there on the strip. Well, they had a fucking giant crane for the shot with the camera on top of it and everything. Well, it was right in our booth. Like, this crane went across our booth. So sitting in my chair was Jason Mewes and his girlfriend, and right next to Caitlin. And then Kevin Smith was doing the filming, right there. It was it was really cool because they were just kind of laid back guys just hanging out,
Yeah.
It was such an honor to me to even do that. I mean, I know I didn't end up in the film there minus the cut, but I got a chance to talk to Kevin Smith for a little bit. And when I was a teenager, that movie, Clerks, the first one, along with, curiously enough, the ElfQuest comic that Wendy and Richard Penny did, it was just kind of this heads up to, to literally a kid to go, oh, you can just do this stuff. Like, you don't have to wait for anybody. You don't have to get hired on or be discovered. You just, like, go out and do it. Shit. I was like, wow, that's insightful. Same thing with O'Barr's Crow comic originally. That was all him, art, writing, lettering, everything. And it took him several years to complete, but ultimately it was still just, he's like, well, I want to do this book, and, all this bad stuff happened to me. And so, yeah, I mean, Clerks was just a revelation in that regard, and I carry that with me. I always remember that kind of that understanding that I gained when I started working in comics years and years later. It was just like, look, you either do it or you hope that you can either hire somebody else to do it, or someone will, God forbid, actually pay you to do it. But otherwise, if you want it to happen, you just have to go out and do it yourself.
You got to if you want it bad enough, you go get it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. You brought up O'Bar, and it was really funny. Like, the first time I met him, I brought one of those Funko Pops with me of the Crow. And I went up to him and I was like, dude, would you mind signing this for me? He goes, yeah, but I got to do something first. I was like, what? He took the pop, opened it, took the pop out, recolored the face, and he actually made it to where it was his design in the comic, and he did it on the box as well. And he says, now it's mine. Then he signs the box. I was like, that was awesome, dude. Awesome. You know, like, dude, that was a moment that I was just like, dude, that's so fucking cool. Like that. That's like rock star right there.
So, speaking of which, I meet your story and I offer another, sir. So years ago, after Danzig played at the House of Blues, I had I was in college and I went to the signing after, and I brought the booklet for the Misfits box set, which is, I believe, is still in print. It's CDs. It's shaped like a coffin.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I've always wanted to get that fucking box set. I never did buy it though.
It's good. It's worth getting. And, you know, it was one of those things that was pretty transformational for me when I was a teenager. But so I brought it, and Glenn is notorious for not wanting to sign it because he wasn't involved with it. He felt like Carolyn and the newly formed Misfits with Michael Graves just kind of did it without him and without his input. And so I brought the booklet in my back pocket, and I go up to the signing table, and I just go, Mr. Danzig, sir? He's like, yes. I said, all right, I know you don't sign this normally, but would you mind signing this? And he's like, what? The Misfits box set booklet? And he goes, yeah, all right, I'll sign it. So he takes it, and he has his Sharpie, and he goes, but I'm going to fuck it up first. And so he starts drawing around it was like a long booklet, kind of like the size of a brochure. And so he drew like eye makeup and a devil lock and a couple of other things on the booklet, and then he signed it. And this is before, obviously, they kind of got back together and they were playing Riot Fest and everything. And he just, I just said, you know, I know you're probably not thrilled about this or something. And he just goes, yeah, Jerry's building his own coffin. I said, well, all right, either way.
You brought up Danzig, man. When I was a kid, I was probably, maybe about 18, 19 years old. And Danzig played on New Year's Eve at fucking the New Orleans Music Hall.
New Orleans Music Hall.
Yeah, so we went to see this show, right? And I had a Misfits shirt on at the time, and I took my Misfits shirt off, and somebody lit it on fire and threw it in the rafters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wait, dude, it was a wild fucking show. So anyway, we're outside at the end of the show, but we're waiting for like our parents or somebody to pick us up. I think it was my mom or whatever, picking us up outside, you know, we're just chilling outside. Well, the tour bus is sitting right there. So we're sitting there, everybody's pretty much gone. The door opens up and it's fucking Danzig sitting in the damn driver's seat. And he's sitting there, and I was like, dude, I can't miss this opportunity. So I walked up to the thing and said, dude, would you mind signing this for me? I gave him my ticket stub. And he goes, yeah, man, no problem. You know, you enjoyed the show? I said, yeah, I did, except for I lost for my T-shirt. He started laughing, and I was like, yeah, you know, shit happens, man. He signed my ticket stub. He signed my other two friends' ticket stubs, and we went on about a business. So many people who think this dude is an asshole, he's never been anything but nice to me, and I don't know, you know.
Now he has his moods. I've talked to him other than that, and I know a few different people that have worked with Glenn and talked to him. Hart Fisher from Boneyard Press and the American Horrors channel. Yeah, Hart and I were talking off and on for a few years after we did an interview at Mania, and Hart works with Glenn and has like premiered some of his videos on his channel and stuff like that. They were actually demonstrably historically friends and work together and stuff, and you know, Glenn's like anybody else, and I think he also gets an undue amount of scrutiny because he's kind of been memeified, unfortunately, by the internet. The internet being the giant crowdfunded swamp monster that it is. You know, if it wants you, it will come for you. And you know, I kind of feel bad for him because I've been a huge fan for years and years and years. That being said, when I interviewed him, you know, and I've written about this before, so it's not like this big secret, but he was, let's say, disagreeable would be the easiest way to put it. No, he wasn't, you know, he didn't like call me names or anything, but he started to, we started to talk about something in history that he'd written about, and I just said, like, actually, that's not true, because if you read this other book, you can see where that's kind of been debunked, and he really just wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Like, whereas if you had been kind of in an academic setting, somebody would have either said, well, no, actually, I have a third source that confirms it, and or, you know, we can agree to disagree, let's move on. But he kind of, like, wouldn't let it go for a minute. Like, he couldn't deal with not being, like, just agreed with, or kind of, like, you know, and I told him, I said, you're one of my heroes, and I hate to disagree with you, but that thing you just mentioned is not correct. And
Kurt was like, "You full of shit, bitch! Stop it!"
Those were not the words. Those were not the words I used. But he wasn't really thrilled about being corrected. And then at the end of the interview, he kind of brought it up again, like, "Oh, you should definitely read this book that I mentioned that I knew was inaccurate." And so it's okay. Like, look, there's a thing that the internet has introduced into society, which is there's a complete and total inability to forgive or to look past people's faults and stuff like that. And as Bill Maher says all the time, not everything is a hanging offense, you know. So right. he was a little off-putting. Well, guess what? I've been salty for most of my life to a lot of people over and over again. I'm sure that there's probably some people I've met twice in my life that think I'm like the worst person they've ever met because they caught me in a bad day, or they caught me with one too many drinks on me and me down in Lower Decatur back in the day or whatever. And that's just, you know, I hate that. And I've kind of gotten over that as I've gotten older. I go, like, if somebody pisses me off, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt the first few times and just say, hey, you know, maybe it's a bad day. Maybe this is, you know, he's just tired. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, man, look, you know, and I feel the same way. There's been several celebrities, and I will do this again. I've said this many times on this show, and I'll say it again. You can go suck a dick, Lou Ferrigno. But
I wish you were not. I wish you were the first person to have said something along those lines.
Dude, that dude was such an asshole. Like,
infamous.
I will never. You know. Like when it was a simple thing, dude. I just was walking up to the guy just to tell him, you know, how awesome I thought his show was. I love, you know, him being the Hulk. You know, I was a kid when I used to watch him. It was really cool, you know. And all he tells me is 2 for $40. I'm like, what? And he said it again, 2 for $40. I'm like, I almost said, bitch, I ain't asking you how much your shit is. I'm giving you a compliment. But I just said, all right, whatever. And
you're not the first person to tell me that exact story, that they've said something like, he just says the book's $20,
right? And
then they'll continue on with, you know, about how The Incredible Hulk was a grandmother's favorite show in the nursing home before she died, or something. And he'll just say, I made that last story up, by the way. I don't want to
right.
make the guy sound even worse. But he'll just say the book's $20. Like, he is just not interested in engaging with people.
No, he just wants money.
You guys are horrible.
Oh, fuck
He's
that guy.
Deaf.
I don't care.
He couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
He couldn't hear you. He was just saying, hey, these are 2 for $20. He's a big guy. He's aggressive. And you guys are making fun of the handicap. Shame on you.
Fuck that deaf bastard.
No, not at all.
I'll say it right now. I am. Fuck him. I don't care.
I've heard.
No, I saw him in New York, and he was a dick too. Like
so all right, there you go. Like, it doesn't matter which state he's in; he's still an asshole.
No, someone was like standing in line to see like CM Punk or some like current wrestler, and like they were like too close to his table, and he's just going like, ugh, like just all exasperated and just like pushing people away from his, like, you know, like so that they didn't get too close to touching his fucking 1981 8x10 with Bill Bixby or something that he was selling.
Now look, don't get me wrong. Like I still bought a picture. but it was,
you're just rewarding bad behavior.
Well, no. But you see, it wasn't for me.
Dude, it's Hulk, of course.
And it was 2 for $40, man. I wasn't going to pass that up. So I bought one for somebody else, and then I got the other one, and I was like, well, fuck it, dude. It's signed to Wayne. So you know what that means? My kid
can only sell it to someone else named Wayne.
No. I can give it all. See, that's what it's weird. Is like I do that with all my stuff. Is most of the things are signed to Wayne or to Buddy, And the reason I do that now, I make sure they sign it to that, is because when I'm gone, they can all go to my kid, because his name's Wayne too. So they can be like, yeah, look, I got all these done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I read I think it was just part of a Twitter thread about William Shatner, who is very engaged on Twitter, and
Fuck
and
that guy,
I love old Star Trek just like everybody else has. I've seen every episode of the original series. I'm down. And somebody said, "Why do you charge $80 for your autograph?" And he said, "Because if I would give an autograph to a guy at McDonald's or something, it would show up on eBay the next day." And so
true.
I just got tired of like contributing to the scalper market of people like taking not only taking up his time, but also, sucking up goodwill and just, and then he gets flipped on eBay. And I understand that. That's, on one hand, you could say like, all right, that's, who cares what you do with it after. On the other hand, it's like, well, okay, if there's a market value to a thing that I can generate, then I'm throwing money away by not taking that. Like if people want to pay me $20 to shake my hands, and I'm just giving out free handshakes every time I do that, I'm throwing away $20. And so it's I don't honestly, seriously, don't begrudge anybody that, because he's kind of right. It's not fair. You're taking this like moment you might have had with him at like the DMV or something, and then you're like, how can I make $100 out of this interaction?
Yeah, and like if I ever see,
although Kurt, I will say, and I've told Wayne this, and I've said it on this show before. I met Shatner.
Yeah.
When I was in 4th grade at a World of Wheels auto show.
So fucking cool.
And he had like a stack of like 8x10 photocopies. It was just black and white photocopies, and half of the page was him, and because it was during the movies, so it was like him as Admiral Kirk, like in the uniform, and the other half was him as T.J. Hooker, because this was like 1985 or something. And he had like signed one, gone to Kinko's, and just printed up a bunch. So it's these photocopied signatures on them.
Oh my god!
And he's just passing them out. He's letting people take pictures, but it's like we didn't even think to bring a camera. I was there with my mom, and so I just looked up at him and I was like, "Can you sign this for me?" And he just looked down at me and he smiled and he was like, "No."
Oh my god.
What a douche, man.
This was way before eBay. I'm just some fat little 10-year-old, 9-year-old.
Crushing your dreams, you little bastard. Go eat another ice cream, you fat fucker.
I've got a story that I'm going to tell you.
But I still do love the guy, and as much as I, as much as it crushed me that I didn't get the picture, that story is pretty awesome.
That is a pretty awesome story.
Like 1,000 times, too. So that's just as good as an autographed picture from him.
I have a story that's either it either makes somebody look like an a-hole or it's a great mic drop, depending on how you want to look at it. So my waiter then at Galatoire's, who is named Peter, who does not work there anymore, he is at Clancy's now. Peter is a real person. Went to Stan Lee during one of the Wizard Worlds, because Stan Lee happened to be eating at Galatoire's. And nice. Peter, thinking of me, brought a copy of Gambit, our free weekly newspaper in New Orleans, for those of you who don't know what that is. And he wanted to get Stan Lee to sign the Gambit to give it to me. Now, like, I think Stan Lee is great. I think he's a great talent. I have heard all of the controversies, all of the stories. I know about what happened with Jack Kirby. Overall, a lot of respect for the man. Peter and I had never really talked about Stan Lee one way or another. He knew I worked in comics, but it was just, he assumed it is Stan Lee. Kurt will like it.
Well, he's the fucking legend. Yeah. I mean, 100%.
Yeah, at the end of Stan Lee's meal and waiting on him, he didn't do it during the meal. He didn't do it early on. He waited. As he was leaving, he just said, "Hey, would you mind signing this copy of Gambit really quickly so I can give it to my friend?" And Stan Lee just looked at him and said, "Peter, it was really nice meeting you, but I gotta go." Would not sign a newspaper.
That's funny. Well, yeah, I don't blame the old dude. I mean, fuck. I mean, come on, he's Stan Lee. I mean, I don't blame him.
Well, did he think it was like the comic Gambit?
No, it wasn't. It was just Peter didn't have anything for him to sign that would make any sense. So it was like what he was able to grab.
Oh, okay.
And that's fine. And also Stanley not wanting to do it is fine because if
Yeah.
you're going to charge, again, if you're going to charge $80 or $100 for your signature, and I know Stanley was not broke when he died or anything like that, but dude, I mean, that's if I walked up and took $80 or $100 out of your wallet, I don't care how rich you are, you ain't gonna be happy about it.
Right.
So,
like like the first year he came here, okay, I remember when the first year he came for Wizard World, I was actually first in line to get my photo with him, right? So like I that was the only person I was getting. I think it was I think they charged me $45, right, to get a picture with him.
sure.
And I was like, awesome, so I was first in line. I went in there, I got my picture with him, talked to him for a second, it was really, really cool, and then like the last year he was here, it was $95 for a picture and $105 for his fucking autograph. I was
my God.
I was like, wow, dude, that's like, like 10 years, it fucking increased by that much, it doubled. And like, I got his autograph too, but it was, that the same year, it was cheap.
Well, okay, I have one more good Stan Lee story. This was a lot shorter. I was backstage for Comic Palooza in Houston when I was a guest after the Cradle book came out. So I had lunch with the Sean, the actor that played Alfred on Gotham at the time, and also well before the unfortunate current controversy, I had lunch with Dave Ellefson from Megadeth, which obviously he's kind of blown up in the press the past couple of days for something that sounds really embarrassing, and I don't want to rehash it because it's all over the place. But so I was coming out of the bathroom, and Stan Lee is old guy kind of sprinting on unbendable knees towards me to head towards the bathroom, and almost knocked me over in the process. Me coming out of the door, him trying to get in. And you know what? Not making fun of him. We've all been there for sure. But I had to kind of leap out of the way, like kind of, cartoon style. I had to take a good step and a half to the right to avoid being knocked down by him on the way to the can.
I mean,
God love him. He is well missed, and I don't mean to make fun of him in the least. It was just a funny story,
Yeah, I kind of look at the wall of stuff that I have autographed over here, and I was looking at, there's very few things that I actually have that's not signed to me. Like the ones that aren't signed to me are the ones that were like I wasn't there, and somebody decided they were going to get it for me.
For sure.
Like I had a friend of mine. He was at Texas Frightmare. His name is Billy Pond. He's actually the director of a movie called Circus of the Dead, and he's working on a couple other ones. Really, really good guy. And I was like, dude, you're at
Texas Frightmare.
Frightmare weekend. I said, and fucking Clive Barker's there. You need to do me a favor and see about getting me an autograph. I'll pay you back. I don't care. I just can you get me one? And he's like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. So I didn't hear from him for a while, because the weekend was over and this and that. And all of a sudden I get a package in the mail. I'm like, what the fuck? It's from Billy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I open it up. It's an autograph of Clive, and it's a fucking pack of shit. Like he sent me all this stuff, dude. All his movie stuff. He sent me 2 DVDs of his films, all signed by his whole cast, and all this really cool stuff, But that my one of my favorite movies of all time is Hellraiser. So that's why
me too, man. 100%.
Dude, I have Clive Barker's autograph. I have the guy who played Frank and Larry. I can't remember his name.
Uncle Frank.
Yeah, Uncle Frank. Yeah, I got his autograph. It says, "To Wayne, come to Daddy." I loved it. That was me. It was so awesome. And then I had another friend pick me up one for oh god, Doug, the Pinhead.
Doug Bradley.
Yeah, Doug Bradley. He got me Doug Bradley's, and it said I was really sick and I couldn't make it. And all Doug put was, "To Wayne, see you in hell." But no, super cool people, and like I just was saying, like the stuff that I see on my walls and I'm looking at is the people that are gone, like all the people that I have signed that are dead. Like I got Harry Anderson, like he's gone. what was his Chewbacca? He's gone. You know,
Peter Mayhew. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the dude's name who played. Oh God, the asshole in Star Wars who got choked. What was his name? And
I remember the character. I don't remember the actor though.
Yeah, well, I mean the actor's kind of, but I have his signature on a thing. You know, Admiral Piet was the character he played.
Right.
He's dead. You know, I got Stan Lee, Sid Haig. You know, I got all these people on my walls, and they're all gone, man.
Yeah, and the Sid thing is heartbreaking because Sid and I were both at a convention, a horror convention in Biloxi.
Yeah, I was there. Remember, we met up there, and you and who was it, Alicia, I think, and me.
Yeah, Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia. I hired Alicia on as my assistant that weekend because I needed a second set of hands to man the table because they had me doing mic work and doing the interviews and everything.
Yeah, it was really cool.
To
I wish that would come back. Whatever it was called, Fear Fest or something like that.
Yeah, Fear Fest. That was it. Yeah, they turned it into a. This is pre-COVID, obviously. Turned it into a film festival.
Oh, okay.
And I got and that was part of it beforehand. And no shade on them or anything. It's kind of normal. Like I tried to get in touch with them when they were turning to a film festival, and I said, "Do you guys need me for anything?" And I just didn't get an answer. And later I met somebody on the staff. I was actually at the Hard Rock in Biloxi. I just took the bride over there for a weekend to just, smoke cigars indoors and
hang out,
drink, drink free glasses of Maker's Mark while I lost money at video poker. Kind of thing. But somebody from the staff of Fear Fed that worked it recognized me, and on the phone, no less, when I was calling for room service. And I just said, while I've got you, like, what happened? It just said, they wanted to go to a film festival. They didn't really need a master of ceremonies. I said, all right, it's fine, no big deal. I just, I made a couple of efforts to reach out, but it didn't pan out the way I had hoped. But also, I want everything and everyone to succeed at not everyone. There's some people I don't want to succeed at all. That's not true. But generally,
they could succeed,
What's that?
I said they could succeed, but it's a whole different word.
Yeah. But Sid and and Alicia, who was playing the role of my assistant that week, and we went out to dinner after hours on Saturday, I think, and I got a chance to talk to him on Friday. I actually met him at San Diego Comic-Con a few years before, and I had one of those really horrifying, embarrassing moments when you're just starting out and you don't really know any better. So this is when Devil's Rejects was about to come out. It was literally like the weekend before it came out, or it was being premiered at Comic-Con. And so I'm going into the men's room, and Sid Haig walks out as I'm going in, and I stop him, and I'm like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" Which the whole thing with the bathroom and cons is well known. It's a joke that's been made 100 times. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't do that. If someone's in the bathroom coming in or going out, that is not the time to ask them for literally anything unless, I don't know, maybe if you're on fire or bleeding out, you can ask for assistance. I think that's permissible, but otherwise. So I'm sitting there going to Sid. I'm like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And he kind of sighs. I could see him like the shoulders slump, and he goes, "All right." So I start trying to take a picture near the bathroom door, the men's room at the San Diego Convention Center. And for whatever reason, I had a little digital camera. This is before smartphones, and I could not get the damn thing to work. So I'm sitting there, slapping on the side of my camera, trying to get this thing to snap a picture. And like at this point, I'm actually sweating. I think. I want to say I did finally get the camera to go off, but needless to say, I'm sure I was probably not his favorite person that day. But then again, he was meeting a lot of people. So flash forward like 5 years later at Fear Fest, I'm upstairs, great setup, VIP all the way upstairs, second deck, and sitting next to Sid Haig on the couch and asking him about when he was on Batman with Adam West and stuff. And I said,
"Nice.
You know what? This is going to be really strange, but I have to say it. I've been waiting 5 years to apologize to you." Well, for what? I said, Well, at San Diego Comic-Con in 2005. Actually, no, it was Jesus. This would have been more like 10 years, not 5 years. I'm getting my five. Yeah, I was in college and then going to boot camp 5 years. Wait, no, sorry, flipping that around. Yeah, I'm fucking that up. That would have been Comic-Con 2005, right before Katrina, and then that would have been more like 5 years later for Fear Fet, but. I ended up having dinner with him and with Alicia, and it went really well, really personable, easy, and along with guy. And we talked like a couple of times intermittently after the con, but really just sort of like happy birthday, how you been kind of stuff. And I was always, as I do with anybody like that, I try to respect their distance and their time and kind of stay out of their hair. I have a rule: don't call anybody unless you really need to call someone or talk to someone. And then he died. Yep. And I just went, that, like, maybe that's not always right. Like, maybe sometimes it's okay to just, like,
hey,
try to be friendly, reach out to people, Well, I mean, if you don't want to annoy people or anything like that. But
I
know Alicia talked to him a few more times after that. I was like, well, what if I had just taken, like, 5 seconds to try to see if he wanted to hang out, or maybe I could have, I don't know, gone out to set or something like that. But he's gone now, and I didn't do that, and my attempts at being polite ended up kind of stabbing myself in the back, I guess.
But you really can't have regrets for that, man. I mean, think about it like this: is like you were doing the right thing. I mean, you don't want to be a fucking. Right. You don't want these people to think, "Oh my God, this fucking asshole's calling me." You know what I mean? Like you don't want. This weird. Sure. Who is this weirdo? Why does he think? You know what I'm saying? Because they're famous people. They get that shit all the time, dude. They get more, like you were saying earlier. You get more people bothering you than anything, and I completely understand not to be that person. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
the way that I've realized that I've negotiated to deal with it is treat yourself like you're the most important person and the biggest rock star in the universe, and that they're lucky to be meeting you. And then it works out so much better. Honestly.
Well, I mean, dude, look, honestly, everybody's lucky to meet me, motherfuckers. So that's all there is to it.
Well, I feel blessed. #blessed.
That's gonna be that. You know what? That should be the name of this episode. #blessed.
No, but the thing that I've learned, and I always tell people this, is so like I literally had a plumber come over about 30 minutes before we got on we got on the line here. He fixed my sink. He fixed my toilet. No big deal. He did a good job. I thanked him. He got paid. He left. And so when somebody makes a good movie or a good graphic novel or a good novel, anything like that, knowing how people are and what they're like and how fallible we all are, I just look at it that way. I said, you did a good job on a thing that I enjoy. I look at it like if somebody fixed my car. And there I think is especially with the internet, we've all kind of noticed there are so many occasions where somebody makes a work of art and then you find out later that they're obnoxious or unpleasant, or they have, according to the internet, terrible opinions or whatever. And you just go, okay, look, it's best, again, if you look at it like J.K. Rowling fixed your car. She produced a thing. You liked the thing. And that's all you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about what somebody does in their private time or what they believe. Like the Sisters of Mercy, easily one of my favorite bands. I feel like Andrew Eldritch and I would probably not get along. Not to say that, like, if he showed up at my door, I would definitely let him in and offer him a drink. But I've read his interviews and I feel like he would probably not like me. And so, I just go, hey, he made some great records, and we just leave it at that.
Right. I mean, you don't want to, okay, like this. I'll put it this way. All right, look. Yeah. Lou Ferrigno's a complete fucking douchebag, right? But I still love the Hulk, dude. I'm still going to watch that fucking TV show. I don't care that he's an asshole. It's not my fault that he turned out to be a dick and he's fucking, look, who knows? He's deaf, and
you didn't watch the show to see what kind of person he was.
Exactly.
You liked the show
Yeah.
because he was smashing shit and he was big and green and
it was
running
cool.
around.
And it was fucking cool,
Yeah.
right? He did a good job.
Yeah.
And look, I liked his cameos in the newer movies too. He did some cool shit and some of them were funny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. You're still an asshole. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, your quality of character just disappointed me. That's all. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Well, look,
That's one.
I want to get on this before we start running off, man. I want Kirk to tell us about this movie that's in the works for his
Lord,
for his book,
yes.
man.
Yes.
We got to get on
Speaking
that,
of
man.
Movies. Yeah.
You-
Forget
yes.
everyone else's movies. Talk about yours.
Okay, everything that I've said about being skeptical about movies and about celebrities, none of this applies to
Doesn't
to
count.
our movie.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Everyone is involved is a miracle, and the movie's going to be great, and actors are wonderful people. No, in all seriousness, this movie is really a bit of a minor miracle because we filmed during COVID, and so we are falling under the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, the SAG-AFTRA rules for a micro budget production. So it's technically a union production, and so
Very cool.
that means, kids, that it is a real movie. It is not just a student film or anything like that. This is a real live union production. Now, we don't have distribution yet because we're editing and like recording the music and everything. So it's not done. But
That was good, dude. That was excellent right there. I'm actually gonna cut. I'm gonna cut that part out and use that for other things.
So Laura Duvall, it's her first feature. She's done a bunch of short films and commercials before that. Back in, I want to say about 2013 or 2014, after the Cradle of Filth graphic novel came out, she wanted to make a movie out of my graphic novel from 2011, Tad Caldwell and the Monster Kid, which is the story of a boy that makes friends with an elderly science fiction writer with some kind of cult, psychic, sort of X-Files and E.T. level stuff where he finds out that aliens may have given us some kind of time travel powers, the ability to talk to the past. And the development of the book was I had a notion of a guy seeing himself die on camera on television. Like, what would it be like if you popped in a DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, you're going to pick your poison, and then there was a snuff film of you being killed on camera.
More like a VHS tape on that one, man.
Yeah, it is VHS tape. I was just trying to explain the premise because, well, what I really wanted to do, and this is before Stranger Things came out. And I hate to keep beating on that drum but it's an obvious thing that I have to say because it came out a few years before Stranger Things, and I had a notion from Laura, and I talked to a couple of other people about saying I think this might work as a film. It's kind of an adult version of the 80s kind of kid adventure movies like Goonies and Monster Squad and E.T. It's more like the R-rated version of that. And Donnie Darko kind of played with that idea. And so I just sat writing it with that idea, and I decided once I had the premise to just let the story go where it went. So some of it's really bizarre, and there are parts of it that are intentionally unexplained. And the reason for that is that I don't typically believe in magic or witchcraft, at least as you have a common understanding of that. But I said, from people I've talked to that play around with this stuff, that read tea leaves and tarot and burn sage, I said, some of it I would assume is kind of inexplicable or hard to understand or could be misinterpreted. And I said, so what would it be like to play around on that world where there's clearly something supernatural or unnatural going on, but there's not even a clear explanation, not only for the characters, but not for the reader. So it asks you to fill in a few gaps, and that's definitely a roll of the dice of whether that works, because in the worst sense, it's just not going to make sense for the reader. And in the best sense, there's enough kind of bridging material where they can kind of, like we talked about, like maybe it's alien magic or something, like maybe it's their version of magic. And so, however, it worked out. People seemed to like it. It sold fine, about as well for a graphic novel, but I got a lot.
I liked it.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loved it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I had a lot of good feedback on it. And, you know, I had moved on to other projects. I did the 69 Eyes comic books. I did Cradle of Filth. I did Dead Souls Resurrection, which was the thing that I had really, like, staked a lot of my fortunes on because the initial Dead Souls miniseries did pretty well. And so we did this reboot with better art and a longer story and more developed. We had Dan from Cradle of Filth do the introduction, and then Dead Souls did not sell well. It just kind of came out and then just sort of floated there, which is unfortunate, but you know, no spirituality about it. The universe kind of moves in waves, and by that I just mean you look for opportunities. And I said the wave rising right now is Tad Caldwell. So rather than sit there on, you know, the corner with a bottle of bourbon and, you know, sucking my thumb complaining about how Dead Souls Resurrection didn't sell, go, okay, well, people really like Tad Caldwell. There's movement in that direction, so we should kind of follow that course rather than going with what's not working or what we hope would work. So, you know, I'm disappointed. I'm sure my enemies that are still lurking around the various dark corners of Uptown and the French quarters would be delighted to hear this. But Tad Caldwell,
yeah, but what are they doing? What are
Right.
they, nothing. You know,
I don't know. You can drink a lot of White Russians, my friend.
yeah.
So
What are their
Staying out of
fucking
sunlight.
creator projects that they're succeeding at? You know, like
yeah.
fuck anyone that.
Yeah, I know. Running a goth bar for the same 50 people, I guess, the rest of your life is one thing you can do. But ultimately, I decided to just move forward what was working instead of what I had hoped or expected to work, and that's fine. You know, life is not. Life is rarely how we plan it to go. I mean, so anyway, Laura says she wants to make this movie, and then it kind of fell off the radar. She didn't fall off the radar. She's been a friend, and I've watched her work and grow, and her work improve and grow. She did the we didn't do a Kickstarter for Dead Souls Resurrection because I decided that would be an impediment to just getting the book out, is to make people like wait again. And that ended up kind of backfiring on me because apparently crowdfunding has become so normative for indie comics that people kind of expect it and want it. And I guess they're just kind of hooked on the anticipation and everything. But I thought I'd be doing everybody a favor by not crowdfunding it, by just saying, hey, it's out, order the thing. You can have it right now, not 6 months from now. So regardless, she finally pops up and says, no, I'm serious. This is during COVID. She says, we're doing the movie. I said, okay, for reals. She said, yeah, absolutely. I said, I'm not talking about it. We're getting the cast together. I need you to go through the script with me. She said, I made some changes to the script here and there, difference between comics and movies, no big deal. Says, I need you to take past the script and look at some audition videos, tell me what you like. I said, okay, I'm very big on comics are comics, movies are movies, and a comic should not be a film pitch or a television pitch or a Netflix pitch, because I'm very much a pure comics guy, and I'm down with that. I love it. I just, I recently reread the remastered version they did of From Hell, or rather that Eddie Campbell did. And I think Alan was down with it from what I understood. They colorized it and they cleaned up a few things. They had some mistakes in the books dealing with the geography of London and a couple of just artistic inconsistencies, normal stuff in a work of that length. So I read From Hell again and I loved it. And weirdly enough, the original From Hell is one of the ways that I bonded with the bride, because I gave her a copy to read, I gave her my copy to read, and she actually read it and really liked it. And because English is not her first language, she actually got through it. And it's just a book. It's not it's not freaking boot camp, but she got through that too. But she read it and she really liked it. And I was like, you actually read the whole thing? She said, yeah. I said, well, that's cool. You actually read a book I lent you, So now we've been married, I think 17 years, going on 17 years.
That's awesome.
From Hell was one of the ways that it started. That sounds like a horrible thing to say if you don't know what we're talking about. But I read the book again, and I said, the movie with Johnny Depp is fine. I bear it no ill will. It's a perfectly fun movie, but I said, this is unfilmable. This is just no way that you could make a proper movie out of this. And I've also been I've been going through Larry Hama's original run on G.I. Joe. It's the same thing. Like I said, there's no way you could fit all of this sprawling, detailed soap opera narrative about what happened in Vietnam and how it kind of the whole point of the comic book is how the effects of war continue to ripple outward like a pebble in a pond, and how the events in Vietnam ultimately lead to Snake Eyes' family being killed and the Hard Master being killed by Zartan. I'm spoiling like a 30-year-old comic.
I was like,
now.
you motherfucker! God damn it! Why are you putting the spoilers out there, dude? Jesus, it's only been out fucking forever.
Yeah, well, I think the trade paperbacks are out of print now. But the
damn it!
But the point is that in a long comic series, and some of these Vertigo series, back when Vertigo used to do these like 70-issue masterpieces when it was like Preacher and Sandman and Why the Last Man and Transmetropolitan, all those you could make a movie out of them, and people have, but ultimately it works best in the medium that originates in. So I've always been like a pure comics guy. So I told Laura, I said, you want to make this? I'm perfectly fine with you making it. I said, my rules are basically stick to the script, no major changes for any like weird political reasons or agenda reasons or anything. Like I said, the story is what it is. If you want to make any like significant changes to characters and narrative, I would like to know about those in advance. And she said, well, for one thing, we have to set the story during Christmas. I said, why? She said, well, we're filming during Christmas, so we film outside. People have Christmas decorations up, and we can't just ignore that. So I said, okay, perfectly reasonable. So we rewrote parts of the script to reflect that. So we just said, as part of Nathan's detachment from his mother, we kind of said that they don't get a Christmas tree because his dad died on Christmas or around Christmas. In the original story, the comic, his dad just died and his mother is depressed and they have a detached relationship. So we worked it into the narrative in a way that made sense, because that's what you have to do with low budget filmmaking. You have to work with what you have. We can't just go remove everything in post. We are going to have some CGI stuff with the aliens. It's not going to be it's not a bottle movie where it all takes place in one house and they just talk about all the great stuff that happened off camera. But Jason Kirkpatrick from Walking Dead and from Deepwater Horizons playing Tad Caldwell. Jake Alex Williams, I think, is playing Nathan, and Joseph Poliquin, who was in Greyhound, the movie with Tom Hanks that ended up going straight to Apple TV, is playing Wayne. And Olivia Worley, her first feature film, is playing our goth girl Teresa. So I'm super excited. I saw a lot of the filming myself, and it looks amazing. She managed to pull this together on a low budget during COVID. We had actually a U.S. Biochem came out and did our COVID testing on set every day on time, no problem. So, and Scott Ennis, who's the voice of Scooby-Doo, plays Rick, who is the owner of a porn store.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Scott recorded an original song with a video that is going to feature in the movie. And because we're going for a bit of a John Carpenter vibe, it's got this kind of like country rock vibe to it. So we're thinking more like John Carpenter's Vampires or They Live, where you have a little bit of, not the Western in this case, but more like the Southern Gothic, like long road trips to North Mississippi. And, so it ended up being, again, less E.T., less Spielberg, and more John Carpenter, which I'm totally down with, because all those movies are great, and John Carpenter can have $20 out of my wallet whenever he wants. So
for real, I agree with that statement right there, man.
Yeah.
But dude, that's fucking fantastic, man. That's so good, dude. I'm really happy for you, to be honest with you, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I know you've been in other properties, an older property that you wrote, but dude, fuck it, dude. That's fantastic. That's great news. I'm glad, one of our buddies has actually, got something really big coming up. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have, I know there's an Instagram page for the movie. Is there like a website where
not
you can
yet,
see the progress of anything, or?
There's an Instagram and there's a Facebook for the film. I have my own Instagram, which is just at Kurt Amacker, and I have a Facebook fan page, and my Twitter is just my company, Dark Notes Press. I decided to remove myself from Twitter personally because I don't know, Twitter is like staring into a trash fire, and it's just
Yes, it is.
Absolutely the worst. And I decided it was best to just take my name off of it and use my company name because, frankly, I find social media really tedious and awful, and I only want to use it for promoting my projects. And
that's all I use it for.
Well, and the sad part is just if you're an independent artist, people want constant engagement. What's the one thing they tell you if you have a YouTube show? You got to do it every day. You got to do it twice a day.
Yep.
Because if you don't, someone will. Someone else will. Somebody else that wants to have like a salty take on comics is going to do. If you do 3 shows, that guy's going to do 4. And so I find all that, frankly, kind of exhausting because I would like to read and write and work in peace. And I don't know why everybody is so curious about my private life and about like just like what brand of cigar I'm smoking or what kind of bourbon I'm drinking. But people expect that now.
Dude, it's because of the world we live in now, buddy. It's like everybody in the world are now, for a lack of words, are voyeurs. They all want to see the fucking train wreck. They all want to see something happen. They all want to know the bad stuff. They don't really care about the good stuff, but they want something that they can either hold on to or make fun of. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sad society, in my opinion, but that's where it all led to once fucking social media opened up. And, I was told the other day I should watch this fucking documentary about social media. I haven't watched it yet. It's something on Netflix about, it's called The Social Dilemma is what it's called.
I've seen it.
Everybody said I should watch it. They said it's very good, and it's a real eye-opener about basically what social media is they're basically selling your life to other companies, and you're not getting shit. It's basically that's all it is.
It's your data for sale, and I've tried to explain this to some people because some people I know that have really fallen down the rabbit hole of social media activism where it really takes them over, and it's sad. You can see it's kind of affecting their mental health and well-being. And I've tried to explain to them. I said that every time you do that, every time you go on there, what you're doing is you are giving your labor to free for a company. And I don't mean to talk too long. I know we're running out of time, but this is important. Is that you think that labor has a market rate, whatever that is. It might be minimum wage. It's probably a little higher than that. So if you think about it, every time you write on social media, what you're doing is giving your time for free to another company.
Yes.
So I had a friend of a friend, or a social media person who's not a friend, who posted some elf or fairy art, and she got, this is not my friend, it was somebody she followed, she got roasted because someone went after her about lack of representation in fantasy art. I don't know if there are not enough elves and fairies of color. No, but in all seriousness, I don't know. But that was the crux of it. And got into
elf LGBT.
Yeah, something like that. But this person in this woman's comment section really went to town on her for a whole day, writing very long screeds and kind of trying to take her down on Instagram and punish her and rip up her drawing. And I said, okay, so let's think about this for a second. You can publish, anybody can publish anything they want now because of Amazon and because of Lightning Source and things like that. So if you care that much about the issue, and I'm being completely serious, if you really care about representation in fantasy art, you just spent a day ripping somebody apart because of a drawing you didn't like. Now imagine if you had taken all of your comments, all that stuff that you wrote, and put it in a template for a book and just started writing. You might have written an eighth of a book or a fourth of a book there with all your commentary and all your ranting and raving. Hell, you could at least put it in a package and sell. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy a book like that, let's be honest, but it would be at least your labor would be yours, and you were not giving it to Mark Zuckerberg, right, which is what you're doing. So,
someone will buy it.
Last thing. Okay, so imagine, what is social media? Social media only exists and it only works because of user contributed content. If you didn't have user content, it would all just be companies. So it would be essentially reading just nothing but ads and
commercials,
new commercials, news. Because let's be honest, music news sites, entertainment news sites, most of that is just commercials. Either not just sponsored content, but it's sort of curated content. Like when I read about like what Vince Neil from Motley Crue just said, like somebody released that and wants that circulated, whether it's good, bad, whatever. So without user input, there is no product. So what you're essentially doing is creating the product for free. You are giving them your labor, which in turn has a market value that you are giving up. So this girl could have taken her ranting and her unhappiness, justified or not, I don't know, I didn't read it, maybe she's entirely right, and could have directed it towards a book or a magazine or an essay or something like that. They could have been, in turn, monetized and could have been hers, could have been a real product. Instead, all she did was she tore somebody a new asshole for free from Mark Zuckerberg so that they could, like, you know, scan it and gather keywords from the data and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's also, I mean, people are going to do that instead because the other thing you said is going to take too much work. They have to actually collect their things
they have
together.
to do something.
They have to put it together. They have to put it out. They have to like be like, okay, what's the theme of this book going to be? But no, I mean, people just want to do the easy thing. Oh, there's a comment thing. Fuck you. Check it out, fuckhead. You're a fucking blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and you're just hiding because if you saw this person in real life, you would not go up to like if this chick, you know, like posted this art like in a gallery and this person that wrote this was walking by during like her opening, you would not have gone in there and been like, this fucking sucks. You're a shitbag. You're not fucking represent like because they just take the easy way out.
I completely agree with that, except that that person already did like half the work, which is getting started. So she had in this example, she had a theme, lack of representation, fantasy art. Okay, that's not a thing that I spend a lot of time worrying about, but apparently you do. Well, that's like half the battle is getting to where you know what you want to write about. And then she took the time to rant and rip apart this person, and you're absolutely right that she wouldn't have done that in person. But if that was you evidently cared enough to write about it for half a day or whatever, and we've definitely all seen this where people get into stupid Twitter thread wars or wars on forums and stuff like that.
Arguments
it is the same
nothing.
thing. You are writing. Writing is writing. The time it takes to write and to put your thoughts down on paper, whether you're doing it on the internet or doing it in Microsoft Word, it's functionally the same thing. Now, of course, it probably needs to be edited a little bit better after if it's not on the internet. But to speak to your other point, yeah, like there are so many things I've seen on the internet where I have to go, like, what was it? Mike Tyson said something like, and I love boxing. I've become a huge boxing fan. My kind of excusing myself from public life is that Mike Tyson said something like, social media is for people, something like people who have never been punched in the face or people who have never experienced action. Like, no one would say this if they understood what it was like to get punched in the face.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that to someone on the street, on the bus, or like, yeah, because there's the possibility that you'll get your fucking teeth kicked in because you don't know these people. But if you're at home, clickety, clickety, clack, there we go.
Was it Dennis Leary had that routine about, Shut the F Up, a revolutionary therapy by Dr. Dennis Leary. And it's like, I look at that and I go, has no one ever told you, like no one ever just dismissed you out of hand and said, shut up, you don't matter, go away. Like, because no one, I guess I came from, and I mean, you guys are, we're all relatively the same age. You can remember when they could still scream at you in school and they would just say, shut up and do your work or shut up and do your test or something like that. I said, if you spoke to me like that in person, we would have a fist fight. And,
exactly.
I don't know where these people get off. Like, where does that disconnect exist? How stupid do you have to be to go like that, or rather to not go, maybe I shouldn't talk to another person like this. Like, maybe I shouldn't talk to anybody who's not like, I don't know. Unless you just have the worst sort of personal grievance against someone, like maybe if they beat up your kid or something,
it's personal,
and that's understandable. People get angry. Like I've said things in anger that I deeply regret in person.
Same here.
And why not like if again going back to this person with the fairy thing, like say it differently. Like if you do honestly feel like, oh wow, there's not this representation, be like, suggest it. Don't be like, hey, fuckhead, because like, dude, if you post something and somebody's comment is like, hey, dick shit, you're a fucking asshole, then it's like you're not going to go into that open-minded like, oh, maybe I should take their thoughts into consideration because they approached me in such a way that will make me want to do that. But if you're just coming out the gate slamming somebody in their art,
I kind of like being called dick shit when I say something. Hey, dick shit. All right.
Hey, Vernon, Wayne. I think that's called tone policing, and I think it's but the problem there is that there is a subset of people in the world that we all encounter that genuinely they don't deserve more than that. There are people that you shouldn't engage with. It's a total waste of time. Like if you meet a drunk at a bar and he calls you every name in the book, or he calls your girlfriend or wife every name in the book, you don't have to engage that guy and explain why he's wrong. What are you going to say? You're going to use every nasty word in the book and tell him what you think of him on the way out to the parking lot. And that's understandable. And I think that's where that comes from. Is there are definitely circumstances where that is understandable and even appropriate. Like you don't have to, if there's a drunk raving on the corner and he calls you every nasty name in the book, you don't have to stop and like go, hey, listen, let's talk about why.
Right. Why are you feeling this way? Why are you feeling this way, sir? I don't understand.
What makes you think that I'm deserving of these invectives? I just don't understand. I mean, I literally hadn't met you until 30 seconds ago, and now apparently I am a
piece of dog shit.
Something like that. I'm trying to word this carefully because I don't want it to be taken out of context. But
did you just come in invective?
What? Yeah. I'm not infected. I have my shots.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got vaccinated, so
yes.
But there are definitely circumstances like that where it really isn't worth your time to engage. But I would say it mostly deals with the drunk, the disorderly, and the what is it? The unhoused? Is that what we call them now? I don't know. But
just a bunch of piece of shits that would have big opinions, man. That's all it is. It's a bunch of assholes with big opinions.
But I think that's the answer. Is it like this person? Like that's what someone ripping apart someone else's art, like we're discussing, would say is that they're like, oh, that person is just that's really all they get, and I don't agree with that at all. I mean, especially because if you're talking about a painting, the person didn't, kill your dog or something.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's one of the reasons I've kind of moved out of social media, except for just posting about work and about any kind of projects we have coming up.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
No, absolutely.
I do the same, man. It's barely. I barely post anything personal on Facebook or any of those things, just because of the sheer fact is I don't care enough about the social media platform. You guys know me. You guys know who I am, and
for sure. 100%.
And of course I would share my life with you guys because you're my friends. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about half the. Like I don't know half the people on my friends list. They're bandmates or people that I've booked in shows and stuff, and it's cool because I respect those guys for what they do. I'm not being an asshole saying I don't like them. I'm just saying, like, why would I share personal stuff with people we've only been, like, hey, how's it going? I booked your band here. Look, here's my kid dancing.
Well, I think it comes from, I think if we were talking about it earlier, it's the intermixing between celebrity culture and the personal, where people, kids used to say they wanted to be rock stars and rappers and movie stars, and now they say they want to be
influencers.
Influencers or YouTube or, YouTube vloggers.
YouTubers. Blows me away, man. It blows me away.
Yeah. And part of that is, it's a sort of Kardashian phenomenon. And I have nothing but respect for Kim Kardashian, believe it or not. Because I think if you can monetize something you have and get rich off of it, good luck.
She is, I will tell you right now, all she is a high-class fucking porn star, son. She got famous for sucking a dude's dick on a videotape, and bam! Now everybody knows her business. Same with Paris Hilton and whoever else, sucks a dick for, celebrity-wise.
Well, I mean, Kim Kardashian had a couple of different businesses before the show.
But she wasn't famous, though. Not many people knew who she was. Until
she had a couple of successful businesses. She had an eBay business and a closet organizing businesses, which she did very well at it.
Well, I'm not saying she's not smart and she didn't do what she did well, but I mean, she did end up sucking a man's dick on videotape, becoming famous,
Sure.
and then now she's married to Kanye West, which is completely. I have no idea. Anyway.
Oh, but didn't you hear they're separated?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
That's
anybody that monetizes what they have, if they're successful at it, I say, good luck and God bless.
Yeah, for real.
Wherever you have a talent. If your talent is like letting people film your life while you I don't know. I haven't seen. Believe it or not, I've actually not watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it's like the Sharon Osbourne was talking about bringing them back after what happened with the talk. It's like, if that's what you have to do to make money, and that's what you've got to sell is, there was the whole blow up with the talk and Piers Morgan and everything. And I say, look, if that's what you got to sell, all God's children got to get paid. Everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to pay the bills. And I don't resent anybody for what they, unless you're making freaking snuff films or unless you're a crack dealer or all sorts of, there's all sorts of.
Are you that guy out drunk outside that's been calling me names this whole fucking show?
Yeah, exactly. And who's paying you to do that?
Fuck that guy. Vernon. It was Vernon. That's who it was.
Actually, Vernon and I got together. We found an unhoused gentleman, a transient man, and in fact, we gave him a list of things to say.
I knew it. I fucking knew it, you bastards. Well, Kurt, man, it was awesome having you back on the show, man.
Absolutely.
Guys, it was a pleasure. I know it ran long.
No, it's perfect, dude. It's perfect, dude. Look, we gotta have you back on sooner this time, dude. Let's make plans. I'm gonna get you a date for the next available we have, so you can come back on again, dude. It was fun talking. We had a good time, man, and it was great.
I could only get a date with the bride, so
that's right.
That's up to her. So,
but yeah, man, you want to plug anything, dude?
Wait. What's that?
You want to plug anything, man? Let it go. Tell everybody where to find your stuff again.
Cat Caldwell movie coming. I do have one thing I have to mention that I couldn't find a way to work it in earlier, but Cat Caldwell movie is going to be going out to submission for film festivals and distributors in August or early fall. Again, the movie is still being made, so I don't want to be we don't have a release date yet, but it has been filmed. And it is being edited, and the score is being composed. Soundtrack, we've got Scott Innes from Scooby-Doo doing an original song. New Orleans death rock band Death Church, Lillian Axe, the New Orleans metal band, contributed some tracks, and old school New Orleans goth, Falling Janice.
Whoa, that's awesome, dude. That's
gave us a track, and we got band T-shirts from 69 Eyes, 45 Gray, Black Tape for a Blue Girl, and our good friends at Psychographics, who gave us a bunch of monster shirts.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, we wanted the kids to have some stuff that looked realistic. We didn't want them to just have generic skeleton shirts on and stuff like that. So the last bit of news I have to plug is I Am Not Dead. This was a shock to people because the bride posted something about the death of the singer of Leather Strip, or a member of Leather Strip, who is also named Kurt. Leather Strip's an industrial band from Germany, and she posted something about she retweeted or linked something on Facebook about Kurt dying, and this was right in the middle of COVID pandemic.
And it was everyone thought it was you. Holy shit!
She had a noticeable, but let's be honest, truncated outpouring of sympathy who people thought she was talking about me. And so I had to eventually get on and go, guys, this doesn't happen every day. But the bride evidently convinced people that I had died accidentally. I'm not dead. I'm very much alive.
He is, people.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
We are talking to the ghost of Kurt Amacker right now.
Kurt Amacker is coming to you from beyond the grave. They Skyped with a Ouija board. It's one of the new smart Ouija boards that's out.
Fucking social media. It's got a Facebook button on it.
All right. Yeah, that's the smart Ouija board. I'm gonna keep that one in my back pocket. That's
You need to, dude. You need to. That was great. I like that.
It's my idea.
And you're the Instagram is Tad Caldwell and the Monster Kid.
Yep, that's
Right.
the Instagram for the film.
Okay. So.
Again, it's there's not a lot on there right this minute because they're in the boring parts. They're in the editing and composing and everything. So it's the filming is done, and that's what I'm so excited to say is that like it's going to be a movie. It's going to happen. It's not a student film. Now, it may go straight to streaming, but that's like half of everything these days. I have no shame.
Right,
in that.
that's fine, man. As long as we get to see it, I'm cool with it, bro.
Hey, Mortal Kombat and Godzilla vs. Kong went straight to streaming.
You damn right.
So we're in mediocre company, I guess.
Oh man, those movies were a blast, man. I mean, they were fun.
Godzilla vs. Kong was fun. Mortal Kombat was all right, but it was just I don't know. There's a great Mortal Kombat animated movie called something about Scorpion. But Jeremy Adams has done some work for DC Comics, wrote it, and it's actually very good unto itself, not just good for a video game movie. So,
cool.
I meant to ask you for the shirts. You said it was Psychographics that did it?
Psychographics, yeah. They printed
SIGHCO?
SIGHCO.
Psycho. Yeah. Gwen and Brian Callahan, right? Okay,
exactly, out of Portland.
They did some shirts for me like about 10 years ago for the Love and Dead comic.
Oh, sick, dude.
And,
nice.
Gwen and Brian are great. They run the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival out in Portland.
Nice.
And,
are they in Portland now? Because aren't they from here originally?
They're not from here originally. I don't remember where they're from, and I'm ashamed to say that, but they moved here for a long time, and they were married. They were married. They had met when they moved here, and they rented an apartment, or I guess you'd say it was a cottage or it's kind of an apartment in the French Quarter. They used to have parties all the time, and Brian and Gwen are great friends.
They're super cool.
Yeah, and they're both really down to earth, and really, it's not just business friends. They're like friends. They were pretty instrumental at helping get the Cradle of Filth book and the shirt out. Because they had a shipping facility for Psycho already, and so they really stepped up and helped out a lot during that process, and they've helped out several times since then. So I haven't been to the Lovecraft Film Festival. I'd love to go. Just haven't had a chance. Obviously, things are kind of coming back online post-COVID, thank God. So we'll, see how that pans out. But yes, the very same Brian and Gwen Callahan of Psychographics.
Right. Cool. I'm glad that's who it ended up being, because I would have felt like a dummy if you're like, no, it's just PSYCHO. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to name drop.
The crazier version, the crazier Psycho. The actual Psycho.
Yeah, just lunatics throwing feces on shirts. Or semen on fucking Clarissa's face.
Oh my god! I didn't know it was a military shirt.
I meant naval.
I didn't know it was a military shirt. Anyway, again, Kurt, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. Like I said, I will send you a date as soon as we get off here about what our next available is, and you can get back on here with us because it was a blast.
And I will make my triumphant return
to
the metal hand of God.
That's right. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was your host, Wayne.
I was your co-host, Vernon.
And I was your guest, Kurt.
That's right. And remember, as always, ladies and gentlemen, to keep it metal.
Adieu, adieu, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Okay then. That's it.
Get the fuck